As far as tooling is concerned, I will use Visual Studio 2022. If you haven't got an MSDN license, you can download the free Community Edition. But that doesn't mean you need to use Visual Studio 2022. ASP.NET Core can be developed using other IDEs, like Visual Studio for Mac or Visual Studio Code, which also runs on Mac and Linux. Feel free to use the IDE you feel most comfortable with. As mentioned, I'm using Visual Studio. If you want to use that as well, and you haven't installed it yet, the first thing to do is install it. It could be that you or the company you work for has a license for using Visual Studio. In that case, you can use that to install the Professional or Enterprise Edition, depending on the type of license. If you don't have a license, you can either download the trial version or download the Community Edition. That's the one I'm going to use in this course. Important to remember is that during installation, you should make sure the ASP.NET and web development workload is checked. That'll ensure that all the necessary components, including the templates we'll use for API development, are installed. If you already have Visual Studio or another IDE installed, but you don't have .NET 6 support yet, you can download it at the URL on screen. Simply download and install the full .NET 6 SDK and you're good to go. To create requests to the API endpoint and see the response messages, we will use Postman. We're looking at its website now. Postman is a free tool you can use to, amongst other things, create and send HTTP requests and inspect the response. You can download it via the URL on screen. Bundled together with the exercise files are all the HTTP requests we will send in this course. So you can just import them in Postman and use them. That'll save you a bunch of typing. I'll show you how to import them once we start sending our first requests. The exercise files for this course can be found via the Exercises tab on the course page. But as an alternative, you can also get the finished sample from my GitHub. That's probably the best place to get the code from, as any potential changes, updates or bug fixes will always be added there first. And that is all that's needed to get started. Let's have a look at ASP.NET Core's big picture.